The white man accused of gunning down 10 black shoppers in a Buffalo, New York grocery store is indicted today on 27 federal charges. Peyton Gendon is charged with 14 violations of the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Hate Crimes Prevention Act and 13 firearms offenses in connection with the May 14th mass shooting. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland said the Justice Department fully recognizes the threat that white supremacist violence poses to the safety of the American people and American democracy. We will continue to be relentless in our efforts to combat hate crimes, to support the communities terrorized by them, and to hold accountable those who perpetrate them. On June 1st, a Buffalo grand jury returned a 25-count indictment against Gendron. All right, so let me repeat that again for all the people out there who sort of missed that. And that is, he was indicted for violating the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Hate Crimes Prevention Act. Now, if you listen to a bunch of these people out here on Twitter as well as YouTube, who keep yelling, "Oh, we need a anti-black hate crimes law." That's what the act is. Oh, but then they get upset because they say, "Oh, because the white guy who's gay is on the same bill." Y'all, they were killed in the same year. They were killed in the same year. So it boggles the mind, Greg, to listen to these people who go, I mean, last night, Luther Campbell had this Twitter Spaces conversation where they wanted me to come on. I was like, I'm not dealing with them FBA nuts. But I'm sitting here and all of these people keep yelling, and I saw some tweets today, how we need a anti-black hate crimes law. When literally there are laws right now to deal with the very issue. So what do you make of all these people, Greg, who keep saying, no, it needs to be, I even had one person tell me, no, it needs to be only for black people. Because they are convinced the Asians got a hate crime law, and they didn't. But it is the craziest thing to keep listening to these black people yell this constantly. I think you're on mute, Greg.
My bad. Yes, sir. Thank you, Ron. I will leave this, of course, to Reese, who has been preaching this from the rooftops, to anybody who will listen to deal with this question of weaponized ignorance. I think that's one of three strains. One strain is the righteous, legitimate strain, the sentiment that we have not been served well in this settler state. But we know that since we were brought here. So that feeling, I think, is honest. You know, we want something for us. We should be redressed. And I don't have any smoke for that. I mean, I feel it. I share it. Then there is the strain that is a lot less difficult, a lot more difficult to grapple with, and that is the strain of miseducation. And, you know, as a teacher, I look at our young people and I just despair for them. And even as I'm with them all the time, daily, in trying to deal with this question of education, because technology and all the shifts in the society have basically overwhelmed us with ignorance. And so there's not even 5 seconds to read a bill or to know even that a bill exists or understand even how the law works, as you, who have the patience of Job, did indeed dip into that conversation with Uncle Luke and them the other night and walk people through and said, we need a new schoolhouse rock. And even in that little engagement, Roland, I saw in the wake of it, there were people who echoed some of your talking points. And as you walk through, and I realized that can change minds. But then that leads to the third one. And again, I'll leave this to Reese. We have real enemies out there. We have real enemies who are elevating and amplifying the voices of some hardcore, straight up con men like Tariq Nasheed and others. And those who may have good intentions like Uncle Luke, but also might not have good intentions. Where's the revenue stream coming from? But the open enemies are weaponizing it and overwhelming our people to the point where can't nobody tell nothing about nothing. And then in the middle of that, you drop some foolishness and the thing just grows like mold in the dark.
That'll be a perfect spot for us to get started. Welcome back to Breakdown Friday, because we about that bullshit today. I'm Joseph Ward, Patrick Irvin. This is Professor Carl Tone Jones, and we're here breaking down this viral video from Roland Martin's YouTube channel We have Greg Carr and the other two young ladies on the show. I don't recall their names right now. I don't remember nobody's name, but it's all good. But their argument is, for one, the Asians didn't get a specific hate crime bill, and that there are already hate crime bills that exist for Black people. While Black people are saying, no, we need a specific hate crime bill for us that addresses Black issues specifically. Roland Martin is saying, well, we already, and you heard him say, we already have bills that specifically deal with Black hate crime issues. And that's the argument that's been going on. And you see, well, the actual viral part of this conversation is at the end, but this front part I just couldn't get past, right? So he actually called out Tariq Nasheed, the Black Authority, Vicky Dillard, Philip Scott. I think he might have called out Yvette Cornell. Oh, Boyce Watkins. He called out Boyce Watkins. So a lot of the ADOS, FBA, B1 people, he specifically took shots at. And a lot of this comes amidst of the old media versus new media fight. So the old Black media, the old Black Boule media, as they are accurately described as, versus the new grassroots Black media. And the old Boule Black media is still pushing the Democratic messages, trying to keep people on the Democratic plantation, and still pushing the thing that if you don't vote, you don't have a voice, you don't have power, you can't do nothing. And voting is the only thing you can do, and you have to vote Democrat. And if you don't vote Democrat and you don't do what we say, and you don't do what we like, you're a simple Simon, and you all the other cuss words that they gonna call people in this video, right? And Roland Martin ain't got no neck. And so if you don't have a neck, you shouldn't be coming at people like that. And yeah, I told you I'm about to bullshit tonight, and we being petty. But we're also gonna be dropping gems in the midst of being petty. But the biggest thing in this for me is Roland Martin is severely insulting our intelligence. And I had to ask, I was watching this earlier at work, and I had to ask a coworker who'd never seen the video. I let her read bits of the bills, both bills, the Asian hate crime bill and the other bill he was talking about, the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act, which is not that long, and they be insulting people's intelligence. Y'all ain't gonna read it anyway, because they know most people ain't gonna read it. But for those of us who do read it, you insulting our intelligence. But I let her look at the bills, and then I let her listen to what he was saying. And I was like, am I lacking comprehension skills? And she was like, nah, because I'm hearing what he's saying, but it don't make no sense according to what I read. Because I'm like, help me make sure I'm not lacking comprehension skills before we start this podcast, right? But here we are. And so I want us to get into this, man, because it's stuff like this that really, I say, be about that bullshit, especially when you have a panel like this and the vitriol that they're speaking to Black people, especially the grassroots Black media, the way that they're talking down and like cussing out the grassroots Black media because we have a different narrative than they do. And of course, they didn't call us out by name on the show, the Giants, us three, but we're part of this grassroots media that they're talking about. I ain't taking it personal, but I just thought it was a good time to go in on Roland Martin again because he ain't got no neck. So he built like the Tasmanian devil. So I just wanted to say that. So Pat, your head was twisting all different type of ways.
Well, I was actually looking to see, because I believe that for those that don't know, PAX used to do a report card. We did 2 of them for the laws that were passed, grading people in Congress for laws that was passed in terms of their effectiveness in the community. And I believe the NDA that the Byrd Act was passed as a part of was evaluated. So I was going to look to see, because Not very familiar because it's been a couple years since I looked at it, but I'm familiar with it. So, but in any case, I found it interesting that they're taking this approach to talking to black people. Is is very Obama-esque in terms of like the finger wagging and the you stupid Negroes, you're like,
Right.
Listen to your betters. So
Right.
it's always interesting to me when black folk choose to take that approach, while likewise vilifying other people on the other side who oftentimes take the same approach, because it's like y'all are essentially doing the same thing. Y'all are like the same people.
Yeah.
Like, for as much as y'all hate Tariq Nasheed,
They stay stooping to his level, playing. They not stooping to his level. No. They don't stoop to reach level. They fall right into his trap and play his game.
and that's where I'm like, it's not even like, for as much as y'all hate Tariq, y'all can't help but give him the upper hand.
I mean, they
Because he
keep
is
giving him
controlling
ammo.
y'all.
They keep giving him ammo.
But this is the problem with the black bourgeoisie class, the quote unquote black elites, especially the intellectuals. They think they smarter than every fucking body.
That's the problem.
Like, they think they're more intelligent than everybody. There was a recent study done on the show. I believe it was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It was the show where you could call in, or you got like answers to the questions. You got tips. You know what I'm talking about? Where you could ask the audience, phone a friend, do a 50-50, have a bunch of them removed. And they found out that out of all of the different avenues that you could take to pick the right answer, the most effective avenue, far and above, was asking the audience.
Right.
And they were talking about, there was something about a collective wisdom that was present, where when you speak to individuals, you could speak to a smart person or a not smart person.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, if you ask a bunch of people, you tend to get a pretty accurate representation of what a particular fact is, right? And that works in a lot of areas. I think this is one of them. When you got a bunch of black folks saying we need something specific for us, you look like Foo the Clown when you say we got that, because clearly you missing something.
But what? And if you go to the actual video, there's a comment that stands out to me. It's like, why are the four of you upset? Like, why are you this upset? Because black people want something specific. Why?
Well, and so I'm trying not to get too much into the law, because I know we're going to get into that later. But what I will say here is, even if you wanted to say we did have some, which there are a lot of things codified in law, and we're going to get into it. But what I hear people saying is, we need the code of law to address the color of law.
Right.
The way things are being done is not effective. The problem ain't that it ain't nothing in the books. The problem is how what is in the books is being utilized, which effectively for us means there ain't nothing in the books. I don't understand why that's such a difficult concept. And then my man's just talking about technology and people being overwhelmed, and he fighting with the mute button.
But because I mean, it's he talks about miseducation, but it's like, but you're making yourself, as esteemed as Dr. Carr is within his realm, he's making himself look miseducated, going along with this foolishness with Roland. Because if you actually listen to him, he's not really answering the question fully.
No, he's not.
He's filibustering along a specific line to make Roland feel good.
But even with that, like the calling the question Uncle Luke's motives, right? And I'm not even going to get into the back and forth about whether or not Uncle Luke is trustworthy. But what I am saying is, you make your bread and butter off YouTube, sir. So it ain't like you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like you're an independent solely platform. No, sir. Your money is streamed and focused to you through the same white America that Luke is getting paid from. That's all I'm pointing out is the hypocrisy of the pushbacks that they're giving right now. So even if we want to say the miseducation, well, to Tyreek and the FBA and all of his people, y'all are miseducated.
Right.
Y'all are saying foolishness. Y'all are making things, y'all are making statements that don't make sense. Your point of, well, they died in the same year. So
what does that mean? What does that mean? What the hell does that have to do with something specific for black people? Because
right.
the point was, how is this specific for black people when a white dude is named in the bill? Well, they died in the same year. Bitch, I know.
So, and that's where it's like, all right, well, for one, as my mama used to say, what they got to do with the price of tea in China? Or as Trump would say, what they got to do with the price of tea in China? I don't understand. But even deeper than that, right? Okay, white and black people is killed every year. I don't understand, like, his overall point to that was just stupid. It'd be different if they both died in the same day, but even that would be kind of asinine.
The thing
but
is,
the same year?
Because Peyton Gendron was indicted on the charges and that violated the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Hate Crime Prevention Act, because he had all those charges that violated the act, that the act is for black people and is working for black people.
No, I get what he's trying to say. I wholly disagree
of
with
course.
him.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm being specific to that one point he made about the man dying in the same year.
He don't know. He just saying shit. That's what happened when you ain't got no neck.
That's kind of where I was at with it. Like, that is a non-starter of a point, sir.
It doesn't mean anything, and it doesn't make any point. They died in the same year. And so if I brought a pair of shoes the same day you brought a pair of shoes, but somebody stole your shoes, hey, it don't matter about my shoes. Oh, yeah, it affect my shoes too, huh? Because we got them in the same day, huh?
I mean, it's silly because everybody that's ever had a law named after them also has somebody else die in that same year. So it's just kind of like, and what about all the other people that died that year? Are these the only two people that died that year? Are they like, can somebody in the comment section let me know if any other people died that year?
I'm sure. I'm sure it was a whole bunch of other hate crimes that year in 2009.
Yeah, so it's like your argument is the same theory of logic that would say, like, Martin Luther King was the only person born that day. like what are we doing? That's a weird point. It's just a weird point to make. I don't think Roland Martin is stupid. Honestly, I think Roland Martin is a paid shield. I think Roland Martin is in position to create catastrophes.
He's
of the intellectual kind.
He's on his knees passionately for the Democratic Party. I said
it. And that's not even to say, because if by 1 in a million Roland hears this, I'm not even saying that he don't believe what he's saying.
That's the thing. That's the thing. He does believe it. This is the time. This is the time I believe that he believes what he's saying.
Yeah,
and that
makes it worse.
Get off your knees, PC man. Jump on in here, man. Like as our OG man. Help us understand. Are me and Pat tripping? Is our comprehension off?
Nah. Before we do that, you know what we need to do. Y'all already know. Y'all better like this damn video. You better like it right now. You know what I mean? Hit that like button.
Hey, hit that like button, or you built like Roland Martin.
And you better hit the subscribe button too.
Yeah,
If you have that, because you know a lot of y'all, yeah, we know a lot of y'all are just watching. You're not subscribing. Nah, don't have commit. All right.
there you go. Like, comment,
Uh,
subscribe, and share. Or two things: you don't like black people, and you built like Roland Martin. So yeah.
well, here's a lovely array of Oscars or whatever the hell things are called. So first of all, another thing too, man. Shout out to my young brother Larry Carroll. Um, he's one of my guys here in Philly. He made me this joint right here. Y'all can see it. It's called the Jegna chain. All right.
Yeah.
So he made me these big beads. It's a chain, Jegna chain, man, and he made it for me because he sees me as his Jegna, and I see him as a young Jegna in training. So shout out to that brother, author of the book Rise, and just solid young brother doing real good work out here. So make sure y'all get a chance to check my young brother Larry Carroll out. Now, in regards to the things y'all were talking about, I'm just curious in terms of why is it that the bourgeois class of black folk always want to champion something where we only get a bit of piece of something. And because I find it interesting that first of all, this bill was a rider on the 2010 NDAA act that was passed. And they passed an NDAA, National Defense, authorized some shit like I forget what it. I forget what all the whole acronym is, um, but they pass one every year, and a lot of times they hitch different things to the bill as a rider, so that because the bill isn't strong enough to stand on its own, which means it does not have full congressional and Senate report. That said, and looking over the bill, you have to ask would the bill even be considered if it was just the James Byrd anti-violence, anti-crime bill and crimes against black folk. You have to ask that question because when we look at it from the perspective of what they're talking about, is it that black people that have been asking for anti-black crime bill have been working in vain because one already existed. And so, and I find ironic because all the crime bills, they get all those bills we're talking about. The first one that got passed under the Obama administration. But if you didn't attach the LGBTQ part to it, would it have actually passed? Because it didn't start off. I believe it didn't start off. As the man, what is it? The
Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate
yeah.
Crime Prevention Act.
So they called the Shepard and Byrd Hate Crime Prevention Act. So it wouldn't have been it would have just been the James Byrd Hate Crime Prevention Act. All right, because that's the one that received national outrage first. And it was from the macabre nature of the crime against James Byrd, for which he was maliciously tied to the back of a pickup truck and pulled to the point where his body disintegrated on the road. And so I'm just curious, and I have respect for people. I bumped into Baba Carr a few times. But in terms of the angles that they take on these matters, you have to ask yourself: are they mad that Tariq didn't put them in any of his films? Especially Roland's been pushing for national acclaim he's been trying to get back into national headline media for a long time now.
Well, Tariq has done a good job of trolling Roland over the years, but Roland has done a good job of giving him ammo, like we said earlier, because Roland can't keep Tariq's name out of his mouth, and Tariq keep giving them the business.
Well, it also keeps Roland relevant, right?
Yep.
So if he's being made fun of, then somebody's going to consistently keep making fun of him. So I get that part. The part, one of the things that I struggle with in this whole conversation is why, and if you want to talk about the things that people are saying to separate, why add more separatism to the notion that black people need more? Now, I would agree with the first part of what Baba, James said before in regards to the fact that we need that the sincerity in terms of the need that's out there, that people are calling for the need. We're calling for the need because it's not been truly represented. You look all over, this crime bill has been in place for 16 years or 15, 16 years. And only 88 people, well, 40 different crimes, 42 different crimes, a total of 88 people have actually been indicted under this federal act. We know that there are some years where there's over 40 hate crimes committed towards black people. And this is not just talking about crimes committed towards black people. This bill is expansive. And it's kind of like everything that happens for black people. You talk about the civil rights movement. You talk about with the recent thing with DEI. You talk about affirmative action. All these measures put a black face on it, but it represents minorities. It represents people of color. It represents other protected groups, but nothing specifically for black people. And so when you analyze this, black people, we're being paraded around as sort of like I said, the face of these things, but we don't get any of the benefits. It's kind of like when I went to college at Bloomsburg University, and they asked me to take a picture, and they paid me $25 to take this picture holding books, basketball, and some fruit and shit like that. They took that picture and put it on plastered it on walls all over the eastern store. So up and down the East Coast, people in all different cities in the East Coast saw a picture of me posterized, which brought more black people to Bloomsburg University than probably any of the other tactics in the 90s. But I got $25 for the shit. You see what I mean? So this is they find ways to play this game, and we all know that the Boule, the nature, you know what I'm saying, is the bourgeoisie or whatever. Their nature is to maintain, especially the black bourgeoisie, is to maintain their proximity to white power.
They got to get them
So in order to maintain their proximity to white power, they don't mind doing token gestures. But they make it seem like the token gesture is the rule and not the exception to the rule. And so that's why we have this bitter infighting. And you look at it, because if let's just say it's in solidarity, then we would have a legitimate anti-black hate, anti-hate black crime bill, which the words would be spelled out and it would be specifically for black people. So right there, I'll land my plane because I know we're going to go dive a little deeper into that. But one other thing I put up, which is brilliant. You can't tell a person, you're running a whorehouse if you profit off of prostitution too. So you can't say that, people like, our good brother Tariq Nasheed and, even Uncle Luke and all the other people that they might have come for, who have been doing a good job at representing black media from our perspective, a perspective that relates to us. We see it and we say, okay, that's relevant to us, not some shit that we can't relate to. We don't even know what they're talking about. We have to actually, go to a thesaurus to figure out the terminology. You can't say that they're prostituting the situation if you live in a whorehouse too and you're using the same mediums. In fact, you're trying to duplicate their mediums so that you can actually, earn a buck. I'm not mad that you do it, but let's call a thing a thing. And with that, I'll land my plane.
Man, that's man. It needs to be on the wrong thing. All right. That's the same dude that Jigaboo danced with Hillary Clinton, man. Are we serious? Cause we ain't forgot about that. He lucky my day went the way it went, and I ain't had time to find that clip of him jigabooing with Hillary, because I was gonna add it in here. But I mean, overall, this is a meat swinging competition between Roland and who he perceives as his enemies, or who he perceives as a threat to the intelligence or the progress of the Democratic Party. Because once again, he's planted his flag. We know who he down with. He down with them white folk. Don't get it twisted. Roland Martin is in the front of that 92% riding with them white folk. And because the idea is, I'm not riding with the white folk because I'm a Democrat. And because of Black grassroots media, we're able to expose the bull that comes from both the Democratic and the Republican parties. Because, like, on this platform, we call out everybody, but we go hard on the Democrats because of how the Democrats expect the vote from Black people, and they aren't doing anything. And that's one of the things we have to realize for us as Black people and being grassroots media: quid pro quo, something for something. I don't give a damn what Roland talking about. No disrespect to Dr. Carr, but you need to get off this brother's show, because I'm listening to him talk. I don't think he really agreed with Roland. I think that's why he started the way he started, and then he didn't really give a clear answer. He kind of filibustered through some stuff, because I don't really think he really believed Martin. But these next two chicks, oh, it's finna get crazy. It's finna get crazy.
Well, let's just add this to it. They don't feel like they deserve it. They feel entitled to the Black vote. That's
right.
A whole different ball.
Right.
That's
right.
No,
You right. They
that's
entitled to the Black vote. Like, you have to vote for me because I'm a Democrat, and if you don't vote for me, then you support racism. Like, nigga, y'all racist. Come on, man. So
I do want to say real quick, it is good of you to mention, because I didn't catch it until you mentioned it. I didn't remember it until you mentioned that he was filibustering, because he did break the frustration in the two segments, one of which he said he agreed with, and the other one that he said, he took some issues with. And that's fair. That's balanced. It is, well, I won't say it's fair or balanced, but it is a way of towing the line. And I get he's in a difficult position.
Get off that man's show.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Like, he's operating in that position differently than I would, but I'm not in that position, probably because I would operate differently if I was in it. So, but to that, like, you have respect for, I don't know the brother, so I respect him and what PC has said about him. But I have smoked everybody.
Very, 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 very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable, right? And so I know he know better. So yeah. All right, well, we're gonna run the clip a little bit, then we gotta do something so we can go over these acts. We can go over these laws, these acts, because we got them pulled up, so we can go over these things so we can read them for ourselves. But
this right here, Reese, that I'm looking at right now. Let me go ahead and connect this to our Roku device so I can show the people on the screen. This right here that I am pulling up is remarks from Attorney General Eric Holder on the 10th anniversary of this particular bill. Now, again, for all the people out there who keep yelling, hollering, and screaming, we need an anti-Black hate crimes law. This is what this actually says. The Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act of 2009 provides funding and technical assistance to state, local, and tribal jurisdictions to help them to more effectively investigate and prosecute hate crimes. It also creates a new federal criminal law which criminalizes willfully causing bodily injury or attempting to do so with fire, firearm, or other dangerous weapon when, one, the crime was committed because of the actual or perceived race, color, religion, national origin of any person.
Bitch, what you hollering for? What point are you making? What point are you making by hollering when you read this? Nothing you're reading is specific for black people. Nothing
No,
in there.
Joe. There's only two races:
Oh,
black and white.
oh,
And so we know they're not making this for white people, so it's got to be black people.
oh. So this hate crime bill won't protect white people either. What you saying?
No, that's what he's saying, because he said we already have something specific to us,
right? Because he's
and
saying this
as
is
you
specific to us.
Yeah, so as you so eloquently pointed out, when you interjected, he started screaming. You know, when he said race,
that didn't change
color.
anything.
Nah, but I'm just saying, like, as you pointed out, to him, race, color, religion, that's like all of that's like black people shit. Like, what y'all mad for?
What you meant, bro? National origin or any person?
Man, he caught Joe on a bad day.
Yeah,
Joe done had it up. This is the straw that broke the camel's back.
He didn't
even write down the bit. He didn't even write it down.
Yeah, that's what stick. That's what stick. So I want to make sure I got the numbers right. 88 convictions. All right, or 42 indictments. So 42 different crimes, but it was about 88 people in total. So some of those crimes were multiple people. And so, but what he's talking about is so we're going back to the same thing we were just talking about though. If black people only get things when it benefits other people, then it's not specifically for black people. And that's what we're asking for. All these different things that black people are asking for are things that are specific. Now, I know you're going to get into the other crime bills, so I'm not going to jump ahead of the gun.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead. Do you think? Cook.
But the Anti-Asian Act bill is specifically, is HR, 151, condemning all forms of anti-Asian sentiment as related to COVID-19. So
right.
It's specific. It's not saying that anti-Asian, anti-Latino, anti-LGBTQ, anti-women, anti-any other protected group, Native or other blacks. It's not saying that. It's saying it's specifically for the Asian community. It's a protection that they drew and they created this law in a year.
Look,
they didn't need to study for it or anything.
It said this act may be cited as the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act. Following the spread of COVID-19 in 2020, there has been a drastic increase in hate crimes and violence against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. We ain't even deep into this stuff, and this named two groups specifically. This one on this screen in front of us that we're looking at, it's not mentioning black people specifically. Let me read on. According to a recent report, there were nearly 3,800 reported cases of anti-Asian discrimination and incidents related to COVID-19 between March 19th of 2020 and February 28th of 2021 in all 50 states in the District of Columbia. All right. During this time frame, race has been cited as the primary reason for discrimination, making up over 90% of incidents in the United States. Condemns and denounces any and all anti-Asian and Pacific Islander sentiment in any form. They are naming them specifically. Rolling,
Yeah.
we not stupid.
And so, because of how weak the National Black Caucus is, that's pretty much who he's appealing to and speaking for. This they're trying to sort of sideline or saddle the conversation in regard to any goodies that Black people are supposed to get, and so we understand as well. But the problem is when you're trying to Jedi mind trick people that are smarter than you. And I think it goes back to something Pat said earlier about the elite, especially the intellectuals, think they're smarter than everybody else. But see, we're past the time when their alleged or their supposed authority actually has a strong impact on the Black community because they have had years to have an impact for which they have not cashed in on. They've been given all the cachet. They've been given all of the platitudes. They've been given all of the time. And yet and still, we have nothing. We have actually lost ground as a race in regards to other races moving up the food chain, moving up the social economic ladder, that in regards to their position and status in this country and power as well. So when there's something specifically for us, now you start to see the fear mongering coming out because if the grassroots is successful with putting these things forward and frontlining these bills or frontlining these laws or policies, if they're actually successful, if we're actually successful, then where's the relevance in terms of being the Black elite?
Right, they get no crumbs, and that's the thing. They're afraid of losing their crumbs because they don't want the masses of Black people to be able to listen to the grassroots media. Right, they want the masses of Black people to keep signing up to get scammed because everybody know that Black people are acceptable and easy to be scammed. That's why everybody be scamming Black people. We need to wake up now.
Well, hold on.
Go ahead.
1 second. I want to throw a boomerang out there.
Go ahead.
Because I think from my perspective, I agree with the way you're positioning it, but I don't think that it's an intentional act by them. I think people like Roland honestly believe that they are the best source.
Yeah, he does. No, he does. I agree with that. He does.
Yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there because I don't want people to think like this is an intentional nefarious plan by Roland Martin to sabotage the Black grassroots.
No.
Yeah. So I just wanted to clear that up, like to make sure that anybody that watches, this ain't Roland Martin being an evil super genius villain sitting in the room somewhere. That ain't what this is.
He not only drunk the Kool-Aid, he keep making fresh pictures.
Yes, this is a man that honestly believes it.
Right. Bro, like in this bill, literal Asian people are literally cited in this bill as people who were murdered by a shooter in Atlanta, Georgia. Like they're Xiao Shi Tan, Dio Fing, Sung Chung Park, Hyun Jung Grant, Sun Chuk Kim, Young IU. They're named in the bill. Let's let Roland
none of that on the screen.
I know. I'm put it on the screen in a minute. Let's let Roland keep reading, and then I'm gonna show that.
Or 2, the crime was committed because of the actual or perceived religion, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disability of any person, and the crime affected interstate or foreign commerce or occurred within federal, special, maritime, and territorial jurisdiction.
What Dr. Anderson said, humpbacks, whales, midgets, everybody except Black folk. Like everybody except Black folk.
Well, he read that like Black folk don't understand English.
He's still going.
There are 3 subsections in here that he lays out. y'all are looking at the subsections. I'm slowly going through this because, Reese, it is crazy to listen to these people who have read
I
nothing,
listen to her.
who refuse
Listen to
to
this
read
chick.
anything, who continue to advance this lie that, oh, the Asians got a bill. The Asians got a bill. They don't even know what the hell's in the bill. Oh,
well, motherfucker, we'll show them. Motherfucker, we'll show them what's in the bill. All right?
Okay. This
I
was not getting monetized.
he gave up on monetization, but I
No,
don't.
we ain't. I'm on my limit. I'm on the limit. But
Well, I don't like being talked to like I'm retarded though,
exactly, that's one of my biggest problems with
and
this.
I know
But
that's not the politically correct way to say that. All right.
so these are the names that I was reading. It's a couple names in here that are not Asian people, but these are the names that I was reading that are specifically named in this bill. But we can go back to the top.
Hold on. Scroll back down to them names.
Looking for a black one?
I am.
Good luck.
Paul Andre Michaels is the
Paul
closest.
Andre might be, that could be black.
Could be.
Yeah, that could be black.
Sound like an author.
He sounds like a French something.
So go to the top. So it says, following the spread of COVID-19 in 2020, there's been a drastic increase in hate crimes and violence against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. According to a recent report, there were nearly 3,800 reported cases of anti-Asian discrimination and incidents related to COVID-19 between March 19 to 2020 and February 28, 2021 in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. During this time, race has been cited as the primary reason for discrimination, making up.
Hold on, Joe. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I had to look up Paul.
Am I reading like Roland?
Nah, I had to look up Paul Andre Michaels.
Okay.
And he's a 54-year-old white dude.
Okay.
That was killed at an Asian massage parlor in Atlanta.
Wait a minute. Are you sure he was the one that? Because I could have sworn he was the one that did the killing. Okay. I remember when that happened.
It says he was a handyman killed at the Young's Asian Massage. During the Atlanta area shooting.
Yeah, but it was a mass shooting at that. It was a mass shooting by a white guy at that party. He ended up getting killed by that. Yeah.
I was looking for the Negro, and I was thinking he might be the Negro, but then I realized even that just further connects the bill to the Asian community. So okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry.
No, but
it's not an Asian bill though. It's not an Asian
it's not. I just want to let you know, like Asians. It says all anti-Asian and Pacific Islander sentiment. It says, and the United States condemns and denounces any and all anti-Asian and Pacific Islander sentiment in any form. Roland didn't read anything that specifically mentioned black people.
No, Roland read the summary, and that's it.
You can read the whole thing. I pulled it up. Well, of course, it's
no. I know you did, but I'm saying I think what Roland looked at, what Roland's assistants looked at, was the summary. And they notes based on the summary, and he read their notes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got you. Yeah, you're right. Because
the Asians got the bill has money just for the Asians. No, it doesn't. And they go through this, and then you take these simple Simons who run with it, and they advance it on social media. And then I even had one person come at me and say, in one of those, I think it was in that Twitter space with Luke, why can't we get a anti-police? This is no lie, Reese. He literally said, Why can't we have an anti-police bill that only applies to black people?
You know,
I'm still trying to figure out what's wrong with that. Now listen to the bush. Listen to the bull that comes out of her mouth. I passed my limit, so.
this is like insanity. And I mean, to Dr. Carr's point, there is a righteous indignation. There's a righteous grievance that Black people have within this country. The way that we are mistreated, Black people are still the number one victims of hate crimes in this country. So there is a righteous grievance with the way that we are constantly attacked, whether it be by the police state, whether it be by hateful monsters and people like the Buffalo shooter. That part is righteous. That part is valid. What's not valid, I love the way Dr. Carr said miseducation, is the disinformation and misinformation campaigns that are targeting and exploiting the pain and the trauma and the violence against Black people to keep us dumbed down, dissuaded from doing anything to improve the situation, and trying to fight battles that our ancestors have already damn won. And it's not even right to say ancestors, because a lot of those people are still living. Diane Nash, Fred Gray, people who were just
what. So now I'm confused. I had to cut her off because the more she talked, the more it was layered, and I was starting to lose track of my initial confusion. So the Simple Simons, to use
us
Roland Martin's language,
us as in we's.
Yes. So by people that think the way that some of us do, by saying that we need a bill specifically for Black people, that is, in fact, that request is keeping Black people dumbed down and not wanting to do anything. So asking Black people to do something is demanding, is dumbing them down and getting them to not do anything. Am I understanding what she's saying correctly?
Fentanyl.
She understands. When sometimes when people get up here and they sort of like, it's like the whole double dutch, like when they're waiting and jumping, they finally get a chance to jump in, they start jumping real fast. A lot of times when these pundits get on here, they maybe they just rushed because we're trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, and so they're just lopping all points together. They wanted to make one cohesive point, but they're making too many points to get to that the cohesiveness of it. I don't know, but I think that they keep playing on this miseducation piece, but they're not saying how we're being miseducated. So they can continuously say we're being miseducated, but they're not being specific. Like specifically, how are we miseducating anybody?
Ding 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 ding. Yes.
So those are the questions we have to ask because and I hate this era of talking because most people now speak in generalities and vagaries that don't quite address an issue, but they think they've said something deep. But it's shallow in nature because we don't know what the fuck you're talking about. My one job. We don't know what they're talking about because we don't know what they're talking about because they never specifically speak to a point. Right. They're never specific in regards to what angles they're coming from and why. I mean, if they can explain how we're miseducating people or how the miseducation is taking place, then other than slandering other people. So listen, honestly, and I don't like to have and y'all know me, I don't really like to do the back and forth for Black folk because, like, one thing that Professor Carr said that was accurate, we do have our enemies elsewhere. We just have too many people from within who, are getting caught up because we don't like to say it, but there's tribalism in regards to how we deal with a lot of these issues. And so But one camp is always beefing with the other camp, and it becomes a henpecking situation. No, sister, we're trying to really find out what do you mean by miseducation, because it sounds like you may have just come up with this concept after hearing Professor Carr say it, and it sounded good. But I don't know, Joe. Maybe she gets into it in a few seconds, and we'll learn with her.
Can you, before you started, can you roll it back? 5 second replay on the play, please.
Yes, I will. And I do want to say this: when the enemy sticks its pets on you, you hit them with sticks.
Well, and I want to say this: just because your brother live in the house with you, don't mean he ain't your enemy.
That's true.
Like, in my opinion, Roland Martin is not an intentional enemy. But to say that he is not an enemy, and so then you look at the three that are adjacent to him. Enemy? I don't think Roland is. Only reason I say I don't believe he's an intentional enemy is because I believe that Roland believes that he is operating in the best interest of the community. He just thinks everybody else that's not with him is dumb as fuck and getting in the way.
Well, we're gonna agree to disagree on that one. But I wrote it back. So here you go.
All right.
Just have already damn won. And it's not even right to say
you ain't rolled it back far enough.
And the trauma and
that's the way that I missed when it went forward.
Okay. You know.
All right. So black woman rage.
This is like insanity. And I mean, to Dr. Carr's point, there is a righteous indignation. There's a righteous grievance that black people have within this country. The way that we are mistreated, black people are still the #1 victims of hate crimes in this country. So there is a righteous grievance with the way that we are constantly attacked, whether it be by the police state, whether it be by hateful monsters and people like the Buffalo shooter. That part is righteous. That part is valid. What's not valid, I love the way Dr. Carr said miseducation, is the disinformation and misinformation campaigns that are targeting and exploiting the pain and the trauma and the violence against black people to keep us dumbed down, dissuaded from doing anything to improve the situation and trying to fight battles that our ancestors have already damn won. And it's not even right to say ancestors, because a lot of those people are still living. Diane Nash, Fred Gray, people who were just awarded.
Raising my hand. I know this one might be a long one, Joe.
No, let's do it. Let's do
it. What battles have
that's what I want to know. What battles have we won, young lady?
Because
what? Watch this.
With the presidential presidential medal last week. Okay.
So some black people got awarded the Presidential Medals of Honor for stuff that happened to them in the past, and that's supposed to be atonement. And that's supposed to be atonement for what happened to them, and those medals are going to keep black people safe in the future.
Okay, but my technical tag hand's still up. Cause
go ahead.
If they won this battle, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
But that's why she's saying we miseducated, because we don't know that they won those battles, because everybody should know that they won these battles, and these battles are so significant that it's.
But if that's what she's saying, then she contradicting herself, because the whole first half that I agreed with, that they all keep doubling back to Dr. Carr on, Professor Carr on, is that there is a valid anger there because we're being mistreated and abused. So if we had won this battle, then we wouldn't be being mistreated and abused, and so we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Because she said we're still #1 in hate crimes in America, and then she comes up and say we won these battles.
Right.
Well, #1 is being victimized in hate crimes.
#1 is being victimized. Yes.
Yeah. So JT, just talking.
I got questions, madam. No disrespect, no shade. Beautiful wedding picture in the background. You look like you had your day.
Disrespect and shade from me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm on one tonight.
Well,
These
I
people
just
are
need answers. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, let it play.
still here, and it's disrespectful to their legacy and to the battles that have been won to disregard that. The blood that was shed
So
for
Can I
wait,
James
wait,
stop
Byrd.
right
wait,
here?
wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
PC.
We just talked about this. We just talked like this is a consistent thing that we've been addressing. And see, this is the hat in the hand trick, right? Um, Dr. Amos Wilson. This video, people, y'all need to go back on the Shoulders of Giants. So when the session where Joe was doing the piece on Dr. Amos Wilson, one of the many pieces, but a recent piece, and he was speaking about Black progress. Black progress is not made when you can specifically identify individuals who have been recommended or identified. It is Black progress is when the bottom parts of the Black community is elevated, when the
Right.
lower parts of the community, and I'm not saying lower, what I mean social economically speaking, the people who are struggling the most, when when their living standards are improved. Not
That's
when one or two people are recognized years after the trauma or the pain or the crime has been committed towards them. So I can't stand when they play this game, and this is a game that black, just intellectuals, but people who hang out at higher educational institutions. It's a game they play. It's a parlor trick they play to speak to something because, in terms of like the work that needs to be done to improve the conditions of Black people, they have not shed any blood, sweat, or tears in most cases. I'm not talking about Dr. Carr, but I'm talking about especially the young up and comers who you wouldn't even know who they were if it was not for this social media act. You would not know anything about them in terms of their
right.
works in the community. You can go to their cities. You can go to, and nobody would know who these people are. And so this is something that drives me crazy when you start cherry picking individuals, and specifically a presidential act. Since when do we let white markets prove be the showcase for Black progress? I mean, I know when they do it, but I'm just saying if we're really speaking about what's best for the community.
Hey man,
Go
they
ahead, Pat.
need these Democratic crumbs.
Wild turkey.
Right,
Turkey is wild.
right. She gonna get one to the bull watch.
Was horrific. And for the people that say that Obama never did anything for Black people, the Matthew Shepard and the James Byrd Jr. Act was under President Obama. Okay. And for people to say, well, they just gave the Blacks something so that they can give the gays something, that's ignorant as fuck. That's embarrassing that you actually believe that a Black man dying in and of itself isn't justification for saying we need to expand the hate crimes protections that we have. So
Jump.
Hey, PC,
Listen,
she took a shot straight at you. She said you
bro,
ignorant.
she put
What
me
you
in the
gonna do about
crosshair.
that? What you
Put me
gonna
in
do
the
about that?
crosshair. I'm
I'm
gonna straighten
interested.
that out. I'm gonna have to get my
I'm
Neo on her. I'm gonna have to get my Lawrence Fishburne on Morpheus. Listen, basically,
You heard it. Yeah,
listen,
Pat. Don't look like that, Pat. Don't look like that. You heard it.
because what she said was like sort of like a oxymoron, right? No, not oxymoron, but what's the term for it? Well, because on one hand you're saying the only reason we contradictory. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, it's contradictory as fuck.
Yeah, because what you're saying is y'all saying we couldn't get the bill passed as an act without adding the homosexual man to it. Again, still she said, but what we deserve, or act like what we deserve. Listen, the two ain't the same. We deserve reparations. That hasn't happened yet. We deserve all the removal of red line, and that hasn't happened yet. We deserve federal protections because of the fact that we are still the number one victims of race hate crimes in America. We deserve all those different things. However, we have not gotten that legislation yet. That's specifically for us. And the James Byrd, what's the guy's name again? I'm sorry,
James Byrd.
Matthew
Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr.
Matthew Shepard, yeah.
It
Listen,
wouldn't have been just a James Byrd Jr. hate crime act. We know that.
right. We know that. So why are we playing these games? And see, this is what I'm talking about when people think they're smarter than everybody else. You want to try to say it real fast so you can slide right past and slide one past the Boule. That's not going to work here.
Well, if I yell and throw a cuss word in there, then you know I mean business.
Well, but
Yeah.
even to that, her point of it's disrespectful, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. She said it's disrespectful because we're minimizing Black death.
Right.
So it's disrespectful for us to say that a specific law is not geared towards us, even though it has a Black person in its name, because it's not doing enough for Black people. That's disrespectful for the death of the Black person who is named. But you saying that this law, that in our opinion has not prevented any Black deaths, is not for us. So you can say that we're disrespecting a singular Black person by saying that this law ain't enough, but we have to accept you saying that the law is enough and disrespecting all of the hundreds to thousands of Black people that have died anyway. Like,
yeah, because
it's
this one,
not balancing.
because this white boy got indicted. So because this white, that's proof that it's for Black people because he killed Black people specifically.
But it's one of those. So, and I get it. To the lady, if on the 1 in a million chance she sees this, I understand it. We're talking two different languages here right now. We're talking the language of Black power and Black progress. You're talking the language of Black excellence and Black assimilation and
stuff.
White we get it. You talking about symbolism and we talking about actions. So I understand. So I need you to understand, lady. I understand that. But even if I were talking symbolisms, since we can curse at each other now, you're dumb as fuck. That don't make no sense. What you just said. It doesn't make sense as a point of logic for you to discount the thousands of people that have died since the bill was passed. Black people who, by your own metrics, she said it. Y'all heard her. Mom, she said it, didn't her? She said Black people are number one victims of hate crime. Still, to this day. To this
Why? But because the bill is supposed to prevent those hate crimes.
So if we still the number one victims of hate crimes to this day, then obviously, basically that kind of breaks everything you said after that.
Well,
every single thing you said after that is broken by the first thing you said.
And why aren't we mentioned specifically in the bill, like other people are mentioned specifically in other bills? Cursing lady.
She sounds ignorant as fuck.
Well, she is. So, but it's some more. It's some more.
What happens with us, and this is something that the Mueller report detailed, this is something that Vice President Kamala Harris has talked about, this is something that is well documented. There are chaos campaigns that target Black people, not so that we can be converted one way or another, because the common thread from these chaos agents is that I'm nonpartisan. I don't like the Republicans either. But they know that their charge is to get Black people to not vote at all. And when that happens,
give me something for my vote, or you don't get no goddamn vote. Are you dumb? Do you not understand that? If you don't give me nothing for my vote, you do not get my vote. We'll keep saying we're not getting anything for our vote. How dumb are you that you don't understand that? How is that hard to get? If you don't give me anything, you're not getting nothing from me.
So it's interesting because we're chaos agents because we disagree with her.
Hey man, we want something for our vote. How dare we want something for our vote? Something got to be wrong for us to want something for our vote.
No, that's fine. But I would just like to point out that one thing that the people she's accusing of being chaos agents, one thing that she can accuse us, at least the three of these three chaos agents.
Mm-hmm.
She can't accuse us of being contradictory.
Nope.
At least we consistent. So I don't know how consistency in messaging turns into chaos. But I can say that in the last 30 seconds of you speaking, you've delivered 4 or 5 different messages. To me, that sounds chaotic as all get out. That's just how I'm looking at it. So from my perspective, you're a chaos agent.
Well, here's the chaos, Pat. The chaos is we're disrupting their order.
Of course.
And that's the chaos. The truth that we speak disrupts their order and the order that they once held in regards to the Black community. Because when she speaks about the fact that we're nonpartisan, what she's really saying is we're not democratic. And the fact that there's a democratic program to place Black people back in the crop fields and to get back Black people back on the plantation, the democratic plantation. And because we're not speaking to that end, like Joe said, we want tangibles. But so if you don't specifically have an agenda for us, then why should we vote for you?
Jump off a bridge.
Why? There's no need. And not voting is an act. No, not voting is action. Not voting, because voting is a right, but it's also your right to remove your vote unless there's something that stipulates that there's something in it for you. So if there's nothing in it for us, what is the purpose for us voting? To keep the other guys out? Guess what? It doesn't matter who wins when we keep losing by following you.
Well,
and I don't take too kindly. I don't take too kindly people talking tough to me too either. So
this is the frustrating part for me, is that for this to be a political show, there is even in that statement, there's ignorance to the political process. And there are a lot of built-in assumptions there. The chief assumption being that all Black people that vote are going to vote for Kamala. Kamala lost, lady. Get over it. Go get therapy.
They not get, but and not only that is we were supposed to vote for Kamala, and because all Black people didn't, we're wrong.
But here's the other thing. Like PC said, not voting is political action. That is a political activity. The other thing is not voting doesn't, like, they only count the votes that voted. So if there's 50 people in a room and 3 of them voted, whoever got 2 votes wins. That's how it works. You don't lose by not voting. So the assumptions being made there, the entitlement, as PC speaks about often, the entitlement of the Black bourgeoisie class, they feel like they lost votes by people deciding they weren't going to vote. What if, in an alternate reality, we say 80% of the Black community votes? 80%, an ungodly amount. Hasn't happened since the Democrats betrayed us in 1877, mind you. Anyways, so, and yes, I understand different parties. So I'll say it. Since the progressives betrayed us in 1877. Anyways, so say 80% of the Black community votes, and 80% of them vote for Jill Stein.
Guess what?
What are we doing now? What are we doing now? It wasn't just Kamala and Donald.
The ultimate chaos agent.
It wasn't just Donald and Kamala, right? Like, I know Black people that didn't vote for either one of them, but voted. I know the majority of the Black folk I know that voted didn't vote for Kamala or Trump.
Mm-hmm. Joe voted for me. You mad at me?
I voted for PC 2 elections in a row.
So, it's like, yo, lady, what are you saying? And that is, Joe, that wonderful freeze framework, though.
Yeah, here you go.
Means you are not affecting any kind of change. You're just sounding stupid as fuck on the internet, complaining about something that we don't even
pot, meat, kettle.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that was a perfect place for her to call herself out. Thank you for calling yourself out, Reese. Thank. We didn't have to say it. You said it for us this time.
Even have to complain
Yo,
about because that's already done. And I would like to add that under this administration, there has been millions of dollars for the first time to solve anti-lynching cases. It's called Emmett Till cold case money. It's millions of dollars
It's
that they put
good.
towards
It's
that. Who
good.
do you think were the victims of those lynching cases? It was Black people. We passed the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act after 200 attempts. So it's
We safe now, Reese. We say after 200 attempts, the Emmett Till bill been passed, and we safe now because they not investigating old lynchings. We safe now.
But I really want to say that 2020, the bill was passed 2019. In 2020, there were 4 black hangings that took place that were all summarily dismissed as suicides. So what is she talking about?
she
Like
don't
so
care.
they no longer even call them lynchings. When you have people like literally going up into churches and shooting them, that's a lynching. Those things still happen. You know, they just arrested. We just did a show on a guy who had planned on. You know, he had a whole shopping list in terms of to-do list. Yes, on who
take out black people.
right. And somebody in the comments made a brilliant analogy. They said the only reason the cops investigated that case or took him seriously is because he mentioned the police station as one of those targets. So, see, this is why this is what I'm saying. So they are the ones that keep pretending that what happened. See, they're not in our communities no more. So I'll go back to what Pat said earlier. Just, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? So just because they still be the ops, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not working with us, you know. So they're working in allegiance with those who work against us. So these people that we're talking about live in neighborhoods where they don't even smell the ground or the streets or the inner cities that we live in and walk through and talk through. They don't have to cross paths with people who actually share their skin complexion but have a whole different life experience. And so when they're talking about all these living laws and policies, they're not talking about that. They're not talking about anything that reaches us. They have not been where we are. They have not been where we've been. So, and I don't care where they've come from, they haven't been there in a long time. And you can tell just by the rhetoric they spew.
Sound like crack to me. So,
Well,
yeah.
it's really crazy to me that people say, look at what the Asians got. The Asians got a bill. Why the Asians got something? The Black people ain't got nothing. Won't. And you sit up there and you ignore legislation that's so significant. It took 200 attempts to get passed. 200
hold on.
The Asian bill took 1 attempt, and they got it done with under a year. You know what? We should just let her keep talking. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
We need to clip up that part when she said, "You're stupid as fuck." We should.
Yeah, no, absolute. That needs to become a meme. Because but the other funny part of it is that effort and impact don't equate. They don't equate. It's nice, you would like them to, but just because it took a lot of tries to do something doesn't mean that thing was worth doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that thing was significant. It doesn't mean that thing is going to change anything. So even that argument becomes a fallacy.
Going back to Dr. Amos Wilson, they engage in feel-good politics.
Yeah, because go ahead, Peter.
No. I got it.
Because what she's trying to get us to do is to show appreciation for the work that they've done. In particular, her and her ilk. And she doesn't like the fact that we're ignoring the work because it's having no impact. But baby, that's a you problem. Go get therapy.
So I used to, when I was teaching, and I used to teach community leadership course, One of the courses, some of the courses I used to teach where they were based in community leadership. We had to learn civics. I had to teach them some civics laws and policies, what actually civics actually meant. And one of the things I had to teach them was the difference between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. And the letter of the law states that the law is supposed to represent A, B, and C. But the spirit of the law is the purpose the law was actually created, right? Megan's Law. For the little girls who got kidnapped, it was named specifically because the girl got kidnapped and was they found her, deceased, I believe. So, and there's other policies for that. Yes, you can have an Emmett Till law that was put in place. That law, the woman that lied on Emmett Till never went to jail. How impactful was the law? When the woman that was responsible for the law, being the crime that created the law, never even faced prosecution.
Man.
So, the spirit of and what I want to get to is and Pat spoke about it. Y'all both spoke to it. None of the things you're doing has impact. It's good. It's like, what it's like? It's like when you go to, like when they have these bourgeois parties and they start donning their African garb. They start wearing dashikis, they put the head wraps on, and this, that, and the other, and they entertain people. They may have African masks up on the walls. They may have some African sculptures in the house. But the regular day-to-day life is that of somebody who's in the Wall Street upper middle class. Somebody who never, like I said, never comes to where we are and never is around where we are. Their life is not impact. They have never even indulged in true African cultures and customs and things of that nature. But it's a costume. It's a costume they put on to sort of like mock the community and so forth, and this is my culture. This is my bullshit. It's not your culture. Being black is not what makes you prideful. What makes you prideful is being in these so-called elite spaces. And so when they start talking about this, you can see she's really running out of things to say because we're cussing, but we're not cussing because we're frustrated and we're run out of verbiage. We're cussing to emphasize a point. She's cussing because she just really is run out of things to talk about, or anything that's intellectual anyway. So, listen to this. Yeah. They real good at that in DC.
She's a lady. She's Felicia Bustering.
But where is she from? I don't know where she's from, but yeah, bruh.
She's from Helene County, Georgia. That's where she's from. Helene County, Georgia.
She's black woman moding is what she's doing.
Yeah. Okay. She watched Marvel movies. So the new ones, the new feminist Marvel movies. She watched them. Not anything after Infinity War. She don't know about that. But the new Marvel movie, the new series that be trash. That's what she do.
So, but I'm not even going to jump on her because Roland started this shit. And let's go back to Roland.
Yeah, we're not gonna get off the Tasmanian Devil now. We're not gonna get off him.
Roland, Joe want smoke, man. He's trying to call you out. Roland gonna call you out for a debate. That's gonna be funny.
I'm gonna say
let me do what the panel is doing while you doing that. I'm gonna just smile and nod.
Bruh, that's hilarious. Roland, like, if you want to be sincere about this, actually get out to the grassroots. Stop always trying to get this potluck of who's of black folk on your podcast. And so you even had a show where you did not ask Tiffany Henyard any challenging questions as she was destroying the village of Dalton as mayor. And I forgot the township. She was the
This rolling neck. This rolling neck.
Oh, shit.
Joe, you're not even gonna let him make a point.
I'm sorry.
Jesus, Joe.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I done forgot what the hell I was talking about.
We gave Tiffany Henry the pass.
But you ain't gave her a pass. And so if you really talking about like for the people, Tiffany Henry was what she was doing to the people was like not just criminal in nature. She was her whole office was investigated at a federal level in regards to all the misconduct and millions of dollars stolen out the budget and projects and funds that they stopped mostly attacks against black women in her particular county. She was even rumored to be part of a drive-by or something that happened to somebody else. Allegedly. You know, so he didn't address none of those things. He basically gave her a pass. This is what we talk about when we say the Boule does not represent us. The bourgeoisie does not represent us. Because how do you give people who do the people harm a pass, but then you come for us when we speak for those same people? We speak for the people that have been harmed. We speak for the people that have been harmed.
He went harder at Umar than he did at Tiffany Henry.
Bro.
Well,
and
he went harder at King Randall than he did. He was trying to slander King Randall's name, who was doing nothing but trying to teach young men how to be men and do for self.
Joe, you just answered your own question both times. First off, he went hard at Tiffany Henry because she's one of them.
He was soft on Tiffany Henry.
Yeah. That's what I meant. He went soft on Tiffany Henry because she's one of them. She's Boule. Well, she's aspiring Boule. She ain't got the credentials out of hospital.
She too
come
hood.
Play the game right.
She too hood.
Yeah. But he saw the desire there. He's like, oh, this could be somebody on the, and then he went hard at King Randall because King Randall, what'd you say? He was doing. It don't even matter what come after that. It don't matter what come after that.
He was doing.
He was doing.
Enough. Get these fools off my screen.
Yeah, so he went hard on King Randall for that. Well, wait, I thought was she the last one that was gonna talk? Like none of the rest of them going.
Well, I kind of clipped it off after her because it's a long old clip. We ain't got all that time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, she they shouldn't let her talk no more.
It gave us content. So appreciate you, Reese. Appreciate you, Dr. Carr. Appreciate you, Roland.
I understand.
Oh, my bad.
I understand why y'all get. I understand why you gave Dr. Carr a grade. After listening to her talk, Dr. Carr his only crime is being there.
He took the smart route.
Yeah, his only crime is being there. Like he's
right.
Right.
He was smart enough not to say something to agree with Roland, but not to go against it either.
But why did they let her talk?
I'm
sorry, I would cut her off.
That's by long. That's too much. No, that's too much. That's too much. That's not enough for his neck. That's not enough. Like
because
rolling neck right now.
Roland. She and this is a trick people play too. When you put people on that you think you're more intelligent than, it sort of builds up your prestige because you're not just like she took the focal point of the majority of the smoke we had this show. But honestly speaking, that all belongs to Roland because he put her on that pedestal. He put her there. He created that space for her.
Yeah.
To speak in that regard. And honestly speaking, he at least needs to coach her up on what to say. I don't know what, like I said, she just wasn't making any sense. And then she kept contradicting herself. And I know that accountability is low in the community, so I know that she's not going to have to atone for the fact that what she said was, she's going to say she was misrepresented, but you were the only one representing yourself. But this is all on Roland.
I don't know, PC. I think Roland has been coaching her. Remember, talk loud and slow, and that means you right. And then curse every now and then.
But she didn't talk loud and slow. She was talking loud and fast.
Oh yeah, you're right. Right. See, she don't listen. She don't listen. That's one of her problems. She don't listen.
I'm positive she don't listen. I'm 100% positive because there ain't no way in hell she would. Look, man, you don't say stuff like she was saying if you listen.
Comprehension is important.
You know,
I
I think
think
she spent more time putting makeup on than she did listening to anybody.
I think the fact I think, and this is what happens a lot, especially in so-called, intellectual circles. I think the ability to articulate a certain verbiage gives people the impression that speaks to their intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
But and so they believe that they can actually speak in these enclaves and keep up with the verbiage, and that makes them sound smarter than they actually are. In reality, though, if you take time and slow down and listen to them, you'll actually realize that what they're doing is talking in circles and talking so fast they're hoping to lose you in translation, so that you don't really pick up on the contradictions, such as saying, you know, we're talking about an act that was passed just because you added a gay man to it. But don't you think we deserve to have the act? Well, one doesn't equate to the other. We deserve the act. It should have been a standalone. It should have been a standalone act.
Yeah, because he didn't have to. They didn't have to add him. So
and it should have been race specific. It should have been for black people.
naming it.
Right. So I just leave it at that, man.
No, I'm not gonna leave it at that because they didn't go. Did they go over the act any?
Well, the
Asian.
I think they're gonna. I think later on in the video they're gonna. I mean,
okay.
We come back next week.
No. Well, because she also said that there was no funding in the act, and that's not true. There was a provision for funding.
Okay, well, we're gonna come back next week and keep going.
Well, we ain't got to. You can leave that up to the audience. But there was a provision for, I think, $100,000 grant and a provision for a $5 million grant. I'm going off memory, and I read it like years ago, so I could be off on that.
$5 million a year going towards federal investigations concerning the act that include James Byrd. That was $5 million a year. The Asian Crime Bill Act actually in the first year generated $30 million to be paid out to various different Asian communities, and now they all sort of like share in the same pot of like 12 million. But we know 5 million go to the James Byrd Act, but we don't know where the rest of the 12 million goes to a year in regard to federal investigations and assistance in local investigations for crime.
So what you're saying is my memory was a little off, but there are in fact numbers attached to this thing. Okay. So she was even wrong about that. And so I just find it interesting that, Joe, you pointed it out 2 or 3 times. We stupid. We're agents of chaos. We're keeping the community stagnant, and we're not causing any action. And we're all of these other negative things that are, negative. But the one thing that we said was we need something specific to black people. And I'll say this too, on the 1 in a million chances she says this. We understand that you probably weren't even thinking about us because you probably didn't even see us before you did this. But it doesn't change the fact that we're a part of that group that you're insulting. So in the midst of all of that, though, Joe pointed it out numerous times. Asians and people associated with Asian violence, Asian hate, are the only people named in the bill. So I don't understand, for as intelligent as these people are, and I'm not calling none of them stupid. I say a lot about a lot of them, but I do think they're all intelligent. But for as intelligent as y'all are, for y'all to not address that clear and obvious
and try to say that it wasn't specific for them,
like that should have, and that's where I look at everybody on the panel And I'm like, so we just gonna ignore the fact that it lists out 7 different people. All of them are either Asian or are affiliated with Asian hate, and it lists out 2 specific groups, both of which are Asian. We gonna ignore that when we listening to black folks say that this is an Asian bill.
Roughly 36% of the incidents took place at a business, and more than 2 million Asian American businesses have contributed to the diverse fabric of American life. More than 1 million.
Nah, because you just proving my point. The thing is targeted for Asians.
More than 1,900,000 Asian American and Pacific Islander older adults, particularly those older adults who are recent immigrants or have limited English proficiency, may face even greater challenges in dealing with COVID-19 pandemic, including discrimination, economic insecurity, and language isolation.
And we all know how they got this pass. They got this pass because the great orange one couldn't stop saying Kung Flu.
I know I did it. I messed up. I'm sorry.
We know he was sorry. He never, because that's one of his tenets. Don't apologize.
Never.
So, but I just think like that I know we laughing, we joking. I'm insulting the lady's logic because she's insulting my person and my character.
But we dropping gems and making points.
But yeah, at the same time, that part is genuinely disappointing because I like to think that intelligent black people moving for the betterment of the community would address a easy, clear, that's low-hanging fruit concern.
I want to address one thing before you think. Go ahead, Pat. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm done. I was done.
Okay. I want to address something else that's blatantly obvious here. And for those of you who don't know, Pat and I come into these conversations cold most of the times now. We don't even look at the videos. Joe will share the clip with us. We don't even look at the clips. We watch the clips. We don't even know which one of us Joe is going to go to first. Right? None of this is scripted. Right? The information we pulled up today, right? Joe's the host. Joe pulled out his facts. He lined it up. But the information that we researched was literally done in the hour and a half that we were on this particular show.
It's not hard to find.
It wasn't hard to find the information. So if you're going to be on a platform and you're going to be either ignorant or purposefully ignorant and dismissive of certain things because you're looking for confirmation bias rather than getting to the truth of the matter, it further takes away from your legitimacy in terms of information age. I don't know what they call it, but a change agent, whatever you want to be. It takes away from that because it one way or the other, it affects your credibility. And I land my plane.
Reese ain't got no credibility with me.
Well, you know what, PC? I agree with you, but the problem is, for one, we're too logical and we make sense. I agree with you, but you don't have to. It's not going to mess up their credibility because the people who support them don't know no damn better. Because people still support R. Kelly.
I like 12 left.
Hey, man.
Bang, bang.
I know man. That like button, comment, subscribe, share 12 times. Hit that like button 12 times. Subscribe 12 times. Share 12 times. Do 12 comments. If you don't do that,
if they hit the like button 12 times, they're not going to like the video.
Well, you better like the video. Just act like you hit it 12 times. Send 12 people. Stop being. You don't tell. Okay, turn off the technical now. If you don't like this video, not only do you not like black people, but your body is shaped like Roland Martin's. And I know you don't want FetLifeStation.com. Make sure y'all check it out. FetLifeStation.com. Check it out. ThePAX.org. Check it out. OnTheShoulders1.com. Support. Links to support all of us is in the description. Links to learn more about what we're doing is in the description. Please stay tuned. We love you all. And
they're going to want to know, real quick, Joe, you're going to really want to watch this week's show of Office Hour, because we're really going to get into the whole reason why a lot of you brothers are crashing out here in these streets.
Yeah.
You want to love it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry, Joe.
Oh, yeah. And PC YouTube channel coming soon. So y'all stay tuned for it. Yep, I said it.